Hey Smoothers, how's it going? Today we're going to learn how to speedrun Act 3 of Back 4 Blood. This is the deck that the person in first place used, so definitely use this deck and put it in the same order. We are also going to use Evangelo again because he has his movement speed, stamina regen, and he can break out of grabs. Just the best character for speedrunning. The time starts as soon as you press ready after picking your deck. The first two levels are really simple, there's not much RNG involved. In the first one, you are sprinting the entire time. For anyone who hasn't watched the Act 1 or Act 2 speedrunning videos, throughout the speedrun you're going to be doing something called sprint jumping, where you press sprint and then let go of sprint right before you press jump. This will keep your momentum and speed from when you're sprinting, however it doesn't use as much stamina, so this is just the most effective way to move around in this game. You can also add in a crouch while you're in the air to maintain the momentum for longer. And also most of your shooting that you'll be doing in this game, like shooting sleepers, you should do while in the air. At the start of the level, you should check the store for a stock that gives you mobility and buy a grenade as well. While checking the store in every level too, you also need to look for an ACOG site that makes you do more damage to weak spots. On the second level, after checking the store, make sure you buy a grenade. You'll run down this hill. The best tip I can give you for running down this hill is to try and land on zombies' heads. This will just negate the slow effect you get from breaking your ankles. Once you run past this house, you should cut across the river just to save a little bit of time rather than running down the road. Once you get to this building, you're going to go down into the basement. Instead of walking all the way through to the next door, you're going to jump up this one hole here in the floor. This is when you get to a point where you have to kill 2 sets of mini nodes. Find the first set and kill it as fast as you can, and then you just have to wait for the second set to grow. Once the second set grows and you shoot them, throw a grenade, the final large one, and then head to the end of the level. In the next level, you run down to this lake and it tells you to take the ferry across it. However, that is not the fastest way. Instead, we're just going to jump across it. In the middle, you'll get to this boat, jump on it, and then sprint jump off of it just to make it faster getting to the other side. Once you get to the other side, you're going to want to basically follow the coastline. This will skip you having to run through a house that usually has 2 locked doors. Eventually, you'll get to a big group of cabins. This is where RNG comes into play in a big way. You have to find the battery, and it's somewhere in one of these cabins. It can be in any room of any of these cabins, I'm pretty sure. So you're just going to want to go around shooting down the doors if you need to, checking for this battery, and the battery is kind of hard to see as well while you're scrambling. My biggest tip for this part is to shoot down the middle of the door so you can see into the room, and that way you can see if the battery's in there or if it's worth shooting the door the rest of the way or just moving on. This is definitely one of the more annoying levels for RNG, however it's not the most annoying one. Eventually, once you find the battery, you take it up to the gate and the gate will open. Run across the bridge and up the hill. And this is where you're going to use the grenade you bought at the start of the level. There's usually a lot of fat boys at the end here blocking the path. Sometimes you can sneak by them, but you can just throw the grenade as you're climbing the hill to get rid of them, and that way your path is clear to the safe room. We're on to Garden Party, which is my least favorite level in this game. I don't know why they put a maze in it, but we have a map to actually help us out with this one. Before we get to that, once you enter this greenhouse, you have to kill 2 sets of mini nodes. Shoot the first set, wait for the second set to spawn, you know how it works at this point, and then throw a grenade at the final one. Past this greenhouse is when you get to the maze. So the maze is random every time you get to it. So the best way to beat the maze is to know each path, and the best way to know the paths is to have a map. But someone has to make a map of the maze. That's where Trade came in. Trade is a high tier Back 4 Blood speedrunner. He streams on Twitch. He went ahead and made a map of every single version of the maze, and here's a picture of it. So basically there's going to be 3 different paths that the garden can be, and Trade went ahead and color coded them green, blue, and red, and that's the order you want to check them in. So when you enter the maze, you're going to go left and check to see if it's the green path. You'll know if the green door is open, that it is the green path you'll need to take. If it's not the green path, you need to run over and check if the blue door is there or not. If the blue door is not there, then it's the blue path you have to take. If the blue door is there, then you know at this point it's going to be the red path. Now, I could make a full video just trying to explain how the maze works and trying to explain the map that Trade made, but instead I'm just going to put a link in the description and you can go watch him explain the map. Once you watch it, you'll be able to make it through this maze every single time, and then maybe it won't be your least favorite level anymore. Once you're through the maze, that's the end of this level. Thank God. The next level is T5. Basically the whole level takes place in this one house. When you first start the level, run all the way to the truck and then past it. I found once you run past the truck, it makes the bots spawn faster by the truck, and you need all the bots kind of close by in order to proceed. Once they're all close to the truck, this one guy inside the house starts talking. I don't even know his name. He starts shooting mortars, and you can't really do anything at this point. This is your time to set up some gas cans to shoot them later, heal up if you need to. Your priority is to be peeking inside the windows at this point and finding where every case is going to spawn. On each difficulty, there's a different number of cases. On the easiest one, there's 6. We will be trying to locate 6 of them. By peeking in the windows, you can find the cases that are on the main floor. You can see if they're on the table. Just make a mental note whenever you see a case to go get it after the level really starts. In this waiting phase, you can also shoot down some doors. Once you hear the loud roar, you should basically be heading towards the front door and waiting for it to open. Once the door is open, this is where the mad dash to get all the cases into the truck starts. My suggestion is to head to the top floor first. When you find a case on the top floor, you can run out to the balcony and throw it off the roof. This will save you time by not having to climb up the stairs again. Once you've searched the entire top floor, made sure there's no more cases left, you can move down to the basement. There are many spots that these cases can spawn. I can't go through all of them in this video, so it would definitely be worth it playing this level separate of your speedrun just to learn where the cases kind of spawn. After speedrunning this entire act 3 times, I started to learn where the cases generally were spawning, and it became easier. So a tip for when you're putting the cases in the truck is you don't actually need to jump into the truck to place the cases. You can run alongside it to put it inside. This will save you time as you don't have to go through the mantle animation when you're climbing the back of the truck. Once you have the last case is when you should jump in the truck, because once you place it, you need to be in the truck to end the level. In the next level, we have more RNG, but that's what Act 3 is known for. Once you enter this building, you're going to need to find an access card, which can spawn in many different places. However, the typical strategy is to run all the way to the end. There's 2 spawns at the end here. A body can spawn either on the left or the right back here. For some reason, it normally spawns here. Out of 3 attempts, 2 of the times it was back here. The card can also spawn on one of the bodies inside these tiny door things. Anyways, once you have the access card, you're going to want to run and swipe it, and then quickly turn off the fire on this right furnace. Once the fire's off, crawl through and head up the stairs. The doors towards the exit are locked a lot of the time, so just jump and shoot them as you head towards them. Once you're outside, just start sprinting towards the safe room. On making the grade, you run into the school here, and then you need to take out a nest in order to continue. You know the drill with nests. Take out 1 set of mini nodes, wait for the next set to spawn, and then shoot the final big one in order to clear the path. This is where you'll be using the grenade that you bought at the start of the level. Continuing on, eventually you'll get to the gym and you'll start the generator as fast as you can. Once the generator is running, you have 30 seconds where you just have to hold off from a horde. In this time, you should shoot any sleepers that are around the room. After 30 seconds, zombies will spawn at one of these doors, and that's how you know which one is going to open. You can see the doors kind of like getting bumped, and that's a good indicator that there are zombies behind it. So once you know which door is going to open, head to it. Don't get too close, because once it opens, you can get stunned. Once it opens up, shoot the zombies, run past them, and you have to grab a battery that is within the hall somewhere. Once you get the battery, run back to the generator and put it in it. At this point, an ogre will spawn. You don't need to kill the ogre, and I don't even know if you have enough time to kill the ogre. You basically just have to hold off until the bleachers are pulled out enough for you to be allowed to jump out the window. You can jump onto these bleachers before they're fully out, and then you can kind of just keep jumping on here so that once it is ready, you'll instantly go out the window. After you're out the window, you just run. You run along the rooftops At this point, your only worry is looking out for sleepers that could slow you down. Towards the end of the level, when you're almost at the bus, there's a sleeper that spawns on the other side of this wall, so just look back as you're going through and jumping so you don't get slowed down. The next level, the Road to Hell, was definitely the level I lost the most time on. The RNG in this level comes into play when you have to find 3 different jars of chemicals. These can spawn in many different spots. My tip would just to be to play this level, and eventually you'll learn where all the spawns are. I can make a whole separate video on all the different spawns there are in Act 3, because there is just so much RNG in this act, it's insane. Once you have all 3 of the chemicals, head out this gate. After running through the tent and opening this one door, you'll get to an area where there are 3 different gates that you need to press a button to open. While the gate is opening, you have to hold off for a second. I recommend shooting any zombies that are coming up behind you first, and then shooting the ones on the other side of the gate before the gate opens, just so they don't slow you down. A grenade could come in handy while going around this one corner, because there tends to be a lot of zombies on this corner and they can slow you down pretty easily. So either a grenade or a pipe bomb would be super useful at this part. After heading through the last gate, you're at the safe house and the level's over. On to the final level. So this last level is the main reason you want that ACOG on your gun, because this whole level is practically shooting weak points, and that's why you're also going to take a card that makes you do more weak point damage. At the start of the level, make sure you pick up a gas grenade as you're running by, and then head out the door. Jump down the hill. Like I said before, if you land on zombies, it will break your fall. You can also try to land on just slopes, because you don't want to get that stun when you jump too far a distance. Eventually get to this area and an ogre will spawn. Throw the gas grenade at it so it takes more damage, and then kill it while also moving forward. After it's killed, you can move on to killing all the nest nodes, the large nest nodes. People tend to start with this left node and work their way around to the right. That seems to be the fastest way. After shooting all the medium nodes for a nest, the large node will become available to kill. However, there's a slight delay, so I recommend just shooting until eventually you get hit markers, and that's when you'll know you can unload a clip on it. After killing the 3rd nest, the screen will fade to black, and that's when your time stops. Honestly, this is my least favorite act so far to speedrun. I definitely think the other 2 are more fun. However, because there's so much RNG in this one, there's a lot of room for just anyone to get the record, so I guess that's fun in a way. But anyways, if this helped at all, like the video, subscribe if you want to, comment what you want to see next, and have a good one.